Jerome Bruner, an American psychologist, by me, Jessica Cawthon. Jerome Bruner, born on October 1st, 1915 in New York City. He was born blind and he gained his vision back at 2 years old after a surgery which removed the cataracts that impaired his vision. He passed away this past June on June 5th, 2016 at 100 years old. He was one of the most influential psychologists, being the 28th most cited of the 20th century. Educational background. He earned his bachelor's degree in psychology from Duke in 1937, he earned his master's degree in psychology in 1939, and he earned his doctorate's degree in psychology from Harvard in 1941. Work in psychology. In 1967, Bruner began to focus on children and their learning process. Through his study, he developed 3 models of representation, which we as educators refer to today. Enactive representation, which is action-based. Our information is remembered through muscle memory. This is present from birth to 1 year old. Iconic representation. This is image-based. Our information is stored mentally through images. This is present from 1 to 6 years old. Symbolic representation. Language-based. Our information is stored as a code or symbol, which is our language. This is present at 7 years old and continues as the child gets older. Bruner believed that a learner can learn any material so long as the instruction is organized appropriately. He created the spiral curriculum, which highlights teaching a new skill in intervals. Each time the topic is revisited, it is done at a more sophisticated level while reinforcing the basic principles that have already been taught. He also believed that teaching should be based on and influenced by student interests. Excerpts from an interview. Bruner spoke with John Crace of The Guardian and emphasized the importance of reading stories with children. Why are we so intellectually dismissive towards narrative, he asks. Why are we inclined to treat it as a trashy, if entertaining, way of thinking about what we do with our minds? Storytelling performs the dual cultural functions of making the strange familiar and ourselves private and distinctive. If pupils are encouraged to think about the different outcomes that could have resulted from a set of circumstances, they are demonstrating usability of knowledge about a subject. Rather than just retaining knowledge and facts, they go beyond them to use their imaginations to think about other outcomes, as they don't need the completion of a logical argument to understand a story. This helps them to think about facing the future, and it stimulates the teacher too. Compared to other educational theorists. Bruner coined the term scaffolding, a teaching technique we find so important today. His theories can be compared to Bloom's understanding of knowledge acquisition and the idea of instructional scaffolding. Like Vygotsky, Bruner proposed that social interaction plays a fundamental role in the development of cognition in language. Meaningful language is acquired by having meaningful parent-infant interaction. Educational works. Bruner wrote Process of Education, which expresses his belief that education should not be simply memorizing facts. He explains that knowing how something is put together is worth 1,000 facts about it. He also developed Man, a Course of Study, which is a curriculum focusing on the human race, asking 3 main questions. 1. What is human about human beings? 2. How did they get that way? And 3. How can they be made more so? Influences on society. Bruner served as the Psychological Warfare Division of the Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force Committee under General Eisenhower. He was also a member of the educational panel of the President's Science Advisory Committee during the presidencies of John F. Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson, where he began gearing government funds away from higher education and into preschools. He's credited with helping to found Head Start, and his visits and collaboration with preschools of Reggio Emilia helped improve educational systems internationally. Jerome Bruner, 1915 to 2016. You think you meet people by chance, but when you look back on your life, you realize there was nothing random going on at all.